Yeah.
all of this stuff, it's just all fear and it's just to get us focused on them and rather than building the new, reality that we want. That's the scam.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen this week?
Well, I did see some of those videos you were talking about the dragons, that
I can't
like
say it, Livethian, Live
Leviathan.
Leviathan, that's it.
And people are relating that to the Bible and end of days, but it's just all more end of days crap. And if how can creatures ever be that big in this realm? Especially if we got a dome, they're going to be hitting their head. If there's no dome, then what does that mean? Like, there can't be waters above then, right? If there's like it's so the whole what's that mud fossil university, I think. I just don't, I just can't see how creatures could be that big in this realm. Like he's shown a dragon that's half the size of Africa. Like if that thing was real,
Yeah.
one step, it would just destroy everything.
Yeah. I mean it would have that sort of concept would have to be like pre-firmament, you know?
Yeah, but then
Because
it, can we have a pre-firmament if there's waters above?
well, we could have had a much bigger one.
We could have had a, yes. I've been thinking about this because that could be one. Like it could be like Atlantis, right? Concentric rings, all with a bigger and bigger dome as you get out.
And also, turtles, I learned when I was living in Japan and rescued a turtle, they will grow to the size of the container that they're in.
Mm. Yep,
Yeah, so
yep.
if they're in a bucket, they'll stay that size. If they're in a bathtub, they're going to
They
grow
get bigger. Yeah, same with koi fish and a lot of fish. Yeah, they grow exactly. So yeah, well, that's why we're in a enclosed pressurized system, right? What do they call them? Terrarium.
Yeah, you
But
can imagine how magical that would look. A terrarium with a few, like two or three dragons just floating around inside it. You could never leave. I mean, it's a pretty magical sight.
there's been a lot of talk about dragons coming up too. I've just noticed. So a lot of this talk about, I guess, giant titanic beasts. But yeah, I've been thinking like, is there water above? Is it water? Because we've seen the star in a jar, right, that they make in water, looks like a star. And if it's water, then are there aliens or, extra whatever you want to call them out there, but they're just in submarines, that they're not in an infinite vacuum.
In a UFO
So
flying through
like is the
space.
realm like all of these, because we've talked about domes under the ocean, right? Are we literally in a fractal above that with lots of domes around us all under the ocean? And is the way to travel, is space travel, is that through the ocean? Because there's a clip.
Yeah, we've talked about that
Yeah,
heaps.
yeah. So there's that clip of the guy who's saying space is the ocean and the
Hmm.
moon is a continent. So I'm just thinking if that's true and aliens come from the ocean and we're in a pressurized system, then that would keep like the water at the same level, right? Like,
Hmm.
when they put on those old
Hmm.
style
Hmm.
diving helmets, right?
Hmm.
So literally aliens could be, zooming around in the bigger ocean and they could come up from underneath
Hmm.
into our realm.
Hmm.
So,
Makes sense. And I don't think we only know how many versions of water. Water is a substance that we know is can hold the image of water can change. It's a substance of pure potential on this realm. Well, we
mm,
know what we know steam, we know frozen water, we know evaporated water, we know water that we drink, we know ocean water, though I don't think that's part
yeah,
of it. That's something separate. And then,
prime
with
water.
and actually, when we were studying the Vril, they have another version of water as well. There's different, I mean,
Yeah,
water
yeah.
is the substance of all
There's
things.
one.
So there's,
Forgot what it's called. I think it's H3O2 or something. So there's even different, well, I don't know if I believe in molecules, but but yeah, a lot of people have said that the air is
yeah,
water too, right? The whole
we're in
atmosphere.
water. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's just a different density. And then that
exactly.
that clip of them underwater, like finding the lake they can't get through, right? Different
Yeah,
densities again
yes.
as it goes down.
Yeah. So we have to, we, from our observations, we would then assume that life across all versions of life exist in water. That water is what we would term reality.
Yeah,
Oh,
or the creator, we've talked about this before too on podcasts, is God, water, right? All
yeah.
life that we
Or a
know about
fish,
needs it. It
like
carries
water.
information. It like it's that's yeah, like Bruce Lee, be like water, my friend.
Mm,
Um, because yeah, it seems to be everything, right? It changes,
yep.
and then you could even go as far as the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Is that liquid, gas, and ice?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Definitely. I mean, I think now that we've sort of put our attention on the waters and the ocean, like we can expand, we could cross-reference that topic across basically everything we understand.
Hmm.
I mean, it's everything. It's actually everything.
It, yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, AI needs it. Without water, there's no AI. So like the simulation relies on water as much as the natural real world, right? They all rely on water. Even
yeah,
if you take away the real world and make it an algorithm, it still relies on water, ironically.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Totally, totally.
You can't even create the void of the AI without water. So
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
you can't create life without water or
Or
simulate
non-life.
life. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or fake life. They still
Fake
need water,
life.
all of them. Yeah, oh, our little simulation podcast, Campbell. Contentious out there in the world. It's
Yes,
very contentious.
it's very
Everyone's very touchy about
contentious.
this subject. We've never had such. I got emails, man. We got emails. That's like we never get emails on these topics. Like, yeah, man.
Emails. Were they
This
happy
thing.
emails, Kel?
Oh, they were pretty mixed, actually. I have to say, we've got, I don't know what it is. The simulation topic is a touchy point within
Well,
the truth
I would like to say
community.
that that video is the most unliked video in the 6 years of my channel.
Whoa,
It's
really? I didn't know
seriously,
that.
it's down, it's at like 95% like or something. And I rarely get below 99% something. So it's like quite a bit lower. A lot of unhappy people
Ooh,
there.
touchy.
We did talk about, we did name a few different people, but seems to
So
be
what?
Archaics fans that really, really didn't like it. But what I'd like to, I need to say something about this.
Go on, you speak
I'm
your
gonna
nice little mind
speak.
out.
Um, basically, so first of all, I know Jason's audience. They are all what they would call truth seekers, right? These are the people that would say they are against censorship, that they are against government overreach, that people should leave us alone to think our own thoughts and do our own things. Yet, that is not how they were acting. At least the people who commented. You can't say that you're for free speech and then lose your shit when someone says something you don't like. That is called hypocrisy and being a hypocrite. So go and have a good hard look at yourself, people. Seriously. Like, and this is one of the major problems, that the truther, community seems to be going in. They've all polarized themselves and think they know the truth, right? And you question that and they start acting like the normies, right? And then they'll say all the bloody normies they all think the same. But you've put yourself in an echo chamber and you're now turning yourself into one of these people who thinks in loops, right? And if any concept or person cannot be questioned, we have a big problem. Okay. And again, that is the government. That is the power structure. That is the elites. That is exactly what they do. That's one of their biggest tools. So you can't be both people. But thanks for your comments.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a touchy subject. I mean, we've got nothing against any individual human person in this
No.
space. Like, fuck, Cam and I are happy as and loving up pretty much. If you want to talk to us, we love it.
Mm.
And we can hold very big, debates and chew on very big topics and not walk away personalizing it, not working away crying about it or being upset. Like, that's not where we're at. On the topic of archaics, everyone, Jason, you're probably going to hear this when it gets back to you. It's going to, like, we've got nothing against Jace. Like, I
No.
haven't even met him. We've done one interview. Campbell's hung out. We've got nothing
I've met him
against
and,
the man.
yeah, I've said, I've never said anything bad about Jason. I've always said he was great. He was very generous, looked after me very well. Like he was a good guy. And like you said, we've had him on our show, more than once. I've had him on my channel, and basically we were one of the only channels that was standing up for him, or at least not going against him when he first came out and all the stuff was happening, right? All the videos being made about him. That so we don't have anything against Jason. We actually don't have anything against anyone's or their thoughts or beliefs because we believe in free speech. It's all interesting to us and we're trying to get somewhere. We definitely don't believe we've got all the answers. And so we're like, well, we know it. Let's just stop questioning now. And then, by the way, go out and stop everyone else questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can observe watching how different communities act as a result of the channels that they're aligning with. You can observe how people behave. I love our community because it's like it's so embodied, it's so human to human, it's so full of love. Like this community is like beautiful like that. And we know because we meet you all like actually in person. And
Mm,
I love that. And I have observed, Jason, that you have ignited a community that is divisive against other channels. I've observed this. I've seen a lot of archaic people, errands, go on to other channels and fuck them up, man, in the comments. I've seen
mm,
that. And that's something that you are guiding. And that's just what my observation, you know, like if that's how the vibe and the flow and the energetics through that community operate, then so be it. It's just like everyone's allowed to have their little pocket of reality and experience it in whatever way they want. I would never, ever, 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 ever encourage anyone watching our channel to go and fucking abuse another channel ever. Never do that. Campbell and I will, openly discuss and debate and chew on all people's observation and fact, but we would never ignite or incite such things. So I observe that and I don't love it. So I kind of stay away from it. I'm not into
mm.
that vibe. But who cares? Like everyone gets to do their thing. Everyone has rights to be and experience and align in any direction they want. But woo, it's contentious, the simulation topic. My God. And not just that, obviously I was, talking, I was being very general on the show last week. I was, I was doing my whole, any big researcher who's ever published and hasn't gone to this topic, you're deceiving and it must be deliberate by now. I still think that's a fair statement to make. And I got a few emails about me being racist, and not in the way that one would think, but in the way of, basically saying that the white tribe of the world right now is being persecuted with this immigration agenda, which is happening. That's fact. At the same time, that doesn't like say that the white race of this world is not also the persecutors. So I just want to make that clear because
Mm.
obviously throughout
Well,
history, it's essentially mainly been, but that wasn't the
where
point of the show, of what we were discussing.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, just on that, I mean, yeah, we're allowed to be as proud as our culture as the next culture, right? And we're allowed to stand up for ourselves. But if you talk to a small hat person, they don't think themselves as the same as us. They don't think they're part of the white race, right? They might have the same skin tone, but they definitely see themselves as different. And so do I, by the way. That's the light-skinned people that are out there. We all know this, right? And it's so provable. They're running everything. They're the top of all the corporations, the military, the finance, the education, the religions, all of that. But they're not us, right? So I think that type of thinking is just more divisionary between we the people, when what we need to understand is it's we the people against those people, those, well, not people, those beings, those,
Yeah.
beady
Those
eyes, crook
psychopaths,
nose, the psychos, right?
fucking psychos.
And it is all, planned. It's all part of their plan. What's happening now in Europe, well, and all the Western countries, definitely. But that still doesn't make it a good thing, right? We need to be fixing these countries that these people are coming from because we know they've been destroyed by war and everything for like the
Mm,
last 50 or 100 years. There's a
mm.
reason these people are like that.
Yeah,
But
everyone's fucked
but
up.
the solution is not to then go and destroy everything that's actually working. It's
Yeah.
to go back and fix the crap, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
we don't refer to race and gender and skin tone. Campbell and I are focused on, what's inside that body, the soul that's driving it and where your service is. Is it to self or others? Like basically, that's how I
Mm,
would define humanness at this level of the game. Which one are you in service to?
mm.
That makes a remarkable difference. Defines it very well outside of all of those limited, situations that do generalize and, aren't really speaking truth across the board because like there's always exceptions to every rule in every direction all the time. One in two is probably an exception. So we're talking about soul, man. Soul. What's the soul doing? Where's the soul going? What's the soul's intention? And
Yeah, and
yeah,
essentially we are all souls, so we're not even, this is just the avatar, the meat suit, the whatever you want to call it. It's not, so
man.
focusing on that, and it's also being drawn into this whole illusion of just seeing things as physical as the outside world, right? That's what it draws it into, right? Everyone's, they're not a soul, they're not energy, they're that color person from that, country and that tradition and rah rah rah. That's just all the bloody, it's the facade, man.
Facade. I mean, so we got a lot of, I mean, I get quite delighted when we get a bit of a debate going. I mean, the simulation topic, we got a lot of comments about what a retarded argument we made and how weak the arguments were.
I
But
know.
like at the end of the day, Cam, like it's not even really an argument to me. I can only use my own eyes to observe. And when you enter the system or the simulation or any type of programming, the first thing they start to do is take away your own eyes. They start to take away the power of your own observer, and they take your observer away and put it everywhere outside of you. That's like a
Mm,
big thing. Simulation theory could only exist in that mindset, that there's like an observable reality far past your ability to observe it, and potentially far past even your comprehension of it. And this is simulation theory. I mean, it's an interesting topic, but for me, it's not that complicated. You know, I know how I feel when I'm in their system versus how I feel when I'm in the natural system. I know how I experience things differently. I know my feelings. I know what my eyes can see. I know my sensors. I mean, I know where my power comes from. I mean, that is not in any way question. And I have to say, like, I have not met one person who has debated me on simulation topic that can attest that their power comes from a simulation. You can't, I mean, the argument, and like, why stick with an argument that makes you feel hopeless, useless, pointless, and totally disempowered,
yeah,
lost in this like void of never being able to, really have any meaning or reason for your existence?
yeah, totally. And I've never been a simulation theorist. I've looked into it and I've heard a lot about it, but I've never believed it because, I mean, one, I believe everything is energy, and so it's not a simulation, but it's what we see is not, actually what we think it is, right? Everything's energy, but that's not a simulation. I don't think it's a copy of anything except maybe what we're thinking, right? Our thoughts, because we're projecting it. But as far as, the simulation, it leads to Prison Planet. We're slaves. I'm never coming back here again. I just want to get out. Where's the way out? How do we escape? Right? You escape by going into nature. That's how you escape. The simulation is this encroachment of the electronic grid, right? The closed grid, all of this shit. The internet, AI, bots, blah, 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 blah,
Hmm.
blah.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
2D world, the screens,
Yep.
advertising, we could go on and on and
Yep.
on. This is, to me, the simulation that's being laid over the top, right? I call it the overlay, but it doesn't lead anywhere good. There's no happiness at the end of the road in simulation theory.
There's no life.
There's no life. Like it's literally, we've been put in here. We don't know why. We didn't get told. It's really shit, but that's okay because it's not real. It's a problem. And then the whole NPC thing that comes along with it is, I agree that a lot of the public are not on my level and don't understand what I'm saying. But to then say that they don't exist or they exist less than us, I think that's not good, right? Because then it's exactly the same as any kind of, racism or anti-cultural, any kind of
Even
division.
worse.
It's the same thing.
But
So
worse, right? Because you're
that's the
like
worst.
annihilating them as a soul.
Mm. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. And that can easily lead to, well, they don't matter. And that can lead to bad actions, right? Which we see every day. So, let me know in the comments what good comes out of simulation theory. And then
Nothing.
I will just say that I know that most of it's based on books, right? And research and cyclical things. Well, especially myself, I do a lot of study into history, which I call his story because it's just a story and it's been rewritten. We know the Bible has completely been changed, altered, translated, edited, and rewritten. And that's
Yeah.
I think it is the best-selling book of all time. So why would we believe that all of these other books that are old, and there's not that many of them, right, that have made it through from the 17, 16, 1800s, why would we believe that they're completely unedited? Why would we believe that?
Mhm.
So if all the information is coming from these books, that's just a massive edge to me. It's not conclusive proof. It just means that whoever compiled these books was putting a message in there. And what's the message? Ultimately, you're fake. There's nothing to live for, right? The easiest way, because I believe we've been invaded, the easiest way to take over whatever, right? A town, a country, a realm, is to make your enemy give up. Make them give
Yeah.
up. There's nothing worth living for. You want to
Yeah,
get out of here.
absolutely.
Where's the
Yep.
exit? Run
Yes.
away.
Yes. Hmm. And give up their power source, give up the charge that runs through them, give up their reverence for that power source and their care of that power source, disconnect them from it, take them as far away from it as possible, disconnect the food chain from it so they're not reliant on it, like disconnect their shelter from it so they're like renting this plastic poisonous shit. They're everywhere across the realm. If we just look at what's obvious, they've literally disconnected humanity from their power charge in
Mm,
every sense of the word. So why? Why have they done that? If it was just a simulation, what's the fucking point? Why? Why would you bother? Like, because it would have no meaning either way, end of the day, whether you were
mm,
there or there. It would have no meaning, but they have done it so obviously and so deliberately throughout the last, well, what we've looked at through history. It
mm.
seems to be a big thing, like so they're
Yep.
they're certainly trying to take humanity out of the true reality.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. They're disempowering us. That it's literally an attack on nature. Look at it all. Like the overhunting, the overfishing, the deforestation, the mining, the polluting of all the water systems, now trying to control the weather systems, all of it. It's all an attack on nature, right? And the biggest thing
And
is
then
keeping us
us.
separated. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And through that they attack us,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Which shows us how powerful we are, right? They've need to disempower us this much to even get us into a controllable state, and even that's not working. So,
I mean, then you even looking at sort of like these ideas of the up and coming end of world, the up and coming end of days, like the up and coming apocalypses, the up and coming resets. Like in that itself is also disempowering, disconnecting, disengaging from now in reality. And most of the
mm,
people who really champion this idea, what would they be doing with their life if they hadn't made a career championing this idea? What would they do with their lives if they really, what they speak about, they knew was coming for them in the next 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, or 2 years? What would their life look like? They're going to just sit there in a hole and wait for it to happen if they hadn't made a career talking about it.
mm,
And this is across the board. I'm not talking about anyone specifically right now because everyone I've looked at, and this is not just the truth community, this is mainstream stuff as well. They all now have a career championing simulation theory. It's like become their thing, and if they didn't have that thing but still had that belief, what would they be doing with their lives? And so it's just like I don't know. I think we
yeah,
can only lead by example here, Cam, because, I know that over the next 50 years, we have a plan. We have a plan. And in those 50 years, I guarantee we can observe the outcome of a community that has given up on all that nonsense, has grounded themselves in the here and now, and actually like returned in reverence to the way humans should be living on this realm outside of that system, and what their lives, their energy is going to look like 50 years from now versus someone who stayed there waiting for the end of days in a simulated system.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if you knew, yeah, exactly. Like these people, they're just still working within the system, mate, like all the ones that we hear about, right? If they know that there is a destruction coming, simulated or not, then why aren't they, building doomsday bunkers and all this kind of stuff, or doing,
Well, there's no
if
point,
they
is
know it's
there?
all a simulation, why aren't they flying around like Superman? If they know, why haven't they beaten the simulation? Where's all of this proof that, you can alter the simulation up as far as is, if it's electric, like a video game type thing. Like we just hear talk and talk, and the whole Christian narrative, this end of days, the world is ending, the ascension and all this, it's kind of the same story, right? It's kind of like the better world is after here, it's heaven, right? Like so this world doesn't matter that much. All you've got to do is
Yeah, so
praise the
give up on
Lord.
it. Give up on
Yeah.
it and just survive. Just
Yeah,
get
so
through
yeah.
it and survive. Like that is such
So
a fucking a
service to self.
non-creative attitude.
Isn't it? It's just like, oh,
Hmm.
well, it's fucked. I can't do anything about it. God planned it this way. So I'm not going to go out and try and help people or fix nature or anything. I'm just going to pray and go to church and give the Lord money, and that'll buy my ticket to heaven. There's no service to other people in that. Yet
I know.
religions, that's what they tell us all. Oh, it's all about service to others. But you don't see that much in practice, do you?
I don't know, man. There just seems to be like, ever since we've been alive this lifetime, the agenda has been through all the cultures, all the religions, all the institutes, all of it has been to basically tell you that this lifetime is pointless because inevitably in this lifetime, there's going to be an end of days. There's going to be an end of the world, an end of reality. There is really a big agenda this lifetime to basically make sure every single one of us knows that there's an end of days coming, an apocalypse coming, a reset coming, the end of the world coming. There's like the AI's coming. Basically, reality is ending.
Yeah,
There's been a massive, massive push
totally.
on every level to get us there. Well, hello. Like if you just go with that concept, then fuck it. What's the freak? Don't do that because you've just lost. You've just
Yeah, I mean, it's
lost
been
the
going
earth.
since at least World War Two, no doubt before, but had the atom bombs in World War Two, and that went into nuclear and the whole
Yep.
Cold War, and that went into like the Cuban missile crisis, which then went into all these bloody
Yep.
nuclear Holocaust movies that they made us watch in school, like the day after,
Yes, yes,
all
yes.
and then
That's
like
right.
global warming, then climate change. It's all the same script, guys, and that's the cycle, right?
Yeah.
You can see it right there that, a lot of people research cycles. Look, the same thing's happening again. We can see it in our lifetime. Yes, because they've got one script and one script only. They just keep recycling it, but changing the names to protect the guilty. It's always the same story. Basically,
Always the
death and
same
destruction, and there's nothing you
story.
can do about it. So give up as we invade you.
Yes. I mean, whatever, right or wrong, that is not a way to fucking live, basically.
And that as well. Yes,
Right or
totally.
exactly, right or wrong. There's no creation in that. The only creation you have is to make a career out of talking about it. That's it. There's no creation in that. It doesn't go any further than that. What's the point of putting down roots, having children? What's the point of like creating community? What's the point of any of that? There's no point. So that's not a place to live. That's certainly not a place we're going to create from. And that's not a place that we're going to spend the next 50 years in, come what may, at all.
Mm. Yeah, totally. And yeah, like you said, that's the biggest point. Like we're here and if you're truthful to yourself,
Mm.
realistically, we don't know much at all. We don't know where we
No,
are. We don't know when we are. We don't know what
it's
to
not.
eat.
We
We
know
don't know
nothing. It's
what's
so we
going
know
on.
nothing.
We don't know what's after death. We don't know
No.
what was before. Like we know nothing. So
Hmm.
we have choice of how to actually live while we're here.
Yeah,
So why wouldn't
absolutely.
you live from a point of creation, of trying to make
Yes.
something better, of
Yes.
making your life more enjoyable,
Yes.
rather than focusing on death and destruction and it's all
Yes.
useless and I just want to get out of here and never come back.
We wasted so much time even spending any time thinking about it. Really, at the end of the day, they're hours that your life is lost. So at this point, right or wrong, being that we really don't know anything, as Cam said, I agree with that. This is now it's just a choice point. It's a node point in your soul's development, basically. And which part's going to develop your soul more? That's probably just the cleanest question, you know?
Hmm.
And to me, there's this, it's a very obvious answer. It's not a hard struggle answer. Once I started asking that.
Which is why we need to get the newspaper right? That no censoring, delivered to your door. It's physical. They can't come in and cross lines out or do any of this stuff.
The dog can wee on it.
The dog can weigh on it. You can read it in the day. And it's in the 3D world, right? It's an experience. You get to turn pages and stuff rather than staring at a screen.
That's right. And because it's not digitalized, it's not online, they don't know what's in it.
They don't know what's
They don't
in it.
know what's in it, which means we're completely uncensored, which is the way it should have always been. Anyway, I'm excited. So open up. The new submissions are open for the next edition. Obviously, now you guys are going to get some concept of what this all is about. I hope and I am sure that everything's going to continue to evolve. The articles, the content, the theories, the ads, the artwork are going to evolve and get better and better and better. Like this is like natural way. So in a year's time, this publication worldwide should be just probably I would say the most extraordinary publication in the realm. And
Mm.
that's pretty fucking cool, man.
It's cool. And it's whatever you want. Like we've had like big articles submitted. We've had just pictures with nothing. We've had like a picture and just a few lines of script, whatever it is. We've got like advertisements, I guess you'd call them, people like letting us know what their businesses are and things
Yes,
like
and do
this.
that.
Yeah, yeah. If you've got a business that you're looking to get started or promote, then yeah, just send us whatever you want. It can be an ad, it can be an article about what you do. If you're running a course or anything like that, send it in because we want to promote within our community, right? And
Fuck
that's
yeah.
who we want to deal with. You want to deal
Yeah.
with people that you know are on your level, right? And ethical and on the right frequency.
It's cool, man. I love it. I love that we're getting out of the digital era, going back to the physical world. And of course, it's a safeguard. If anything does collapse with the internet. And of course, worldwide now we've got these fucking digital IDs being rolled out in Britain and all over Europe and all over Asia and all over everywhere, including Australia. And we're all going to hate that. Yes, there'll be workarounds. Yes, we'll sort out some way of getting through it. But the newspapers is something excellent for the years ahead of us. I really feel that in relation to uncensored content from within our community, for our community, supporting our community, servicing our community, and promoting our community. And that's fuck yeah. Look, I'm on a fuck roll today. Look. Sorry, everyone
Yeah.
who cares still about that.
So links below, guys. Get involved. And yes, subscribe.